Attraction is energy, not just words. Words can be crafted, rehearsed, and even manipulated, but energy is raw, unfiltered, and impossible to counterfeit. It's the force you feel before a conversation even begins, the current that makes silence heavy with meaning, and the pull that bypasses logic. This kind of energy operates beneath awareness. It bypasses the mind and goes straight to the core of human instinct. When someone is genuinely drawn, the body communicates faster than the mouth ever could. You can sense it in the way they lean forward, in the spark in their eyes, and in the subtle shift of their presence when you enter the room. Words are easy to fake, but energy never lies. Think about how often people use language as a shield. They say the right things, they offer compliments, they build walls of politeness. But if you pay close attention, the energy beneath those words tells a different story. You might hear interest in their tone, but feel indifference in their presence. Or you might hear restraint in their words, but feel undeniable heat in their energy. This is why true attraction is not about what is spoken. It is about what is felt. The body and the spirit reveal truths long before the mind admits them. Energy is magnetic. When attraction is present, it pulls two people together like gravity. You feel it in the pauses between words, in the air that thickens when two gazes lock, in the sense of being charged even without physical touch. That's because energy is not bound by logic or even by willpower. It is raw chemistry, the kind that cannot be switched off by a decision or hidden behind polite gestures. This is what makes attraction so powerful. It is not a negotiation of words, but a recognition of frequencies aligning. The mistake many people make is focusing on what is said, dissecting every text message, every compliment, every casual phrase, as if the truth is hidden in the script. But if you want to know what's real, look past the script and into the current. Do they lean closer without thinking? Do they mirror movements unconsciously? Does their presence shift the energy in the room when they arrive? These are not things people plan. They are spontaneous responses to attraction. Energy doesn't follow a script, it writes its own. Another way attraction as energy reveals itself is through tension. This tension isn't always about conflict, it's about intensity. When two people are drawn, silence feels louder, time feels shorter, and even the smallest moments feel charged with meaning. You don't need confirmation in words because the energy itself is already louder than any statement. It's the difference between hearing someone say, "I'm interested," and feeling the undeniable truth of it radiating through their presence. Energy also exposes contradictions. Someone can claim disinterest, but their body may betray them with extended glances, nervous laughter, or unnecessary touches. On the other hand, someone can claim attraction, but if their energy is flat, if their presence feels disengaged, the words ring hollow. Attraction cannot be sustained by words alone, because words lack the weight of authenticity without energy backing them. To recognize this truth, you must become fluent in reading energy. Pay attention not only to what is said, but to what is unsaid. Look at patterns instead of promises. Energy shows up in consistency, in presence, in the unspoken. When attraction is real, it creates a resonance that both people feel, whether or not it is ever verbalized. It's the kind of connection that lingers long after words have faded, the kind that stays alive in memory because it wasn't just heard, it was felt. Consistency exposes desire because genuine attraction is not a fleeting spark. It is a steady flame that refuses to be extinguished. Anyone can be intrigued for a moment. Anyone can offer attention when it is convenient, but true desire is revealed in repetition. It is not about how strongly someone shows interest once, but about how consistently that interest shows up over time. This is where the difference between curiosity and commitment becomes clear. Curiosity fades, but desire sustains. When a person is genuinely drawn, their energy doesn't vanish after the first interaction. It continues, it resurfaces, it proves itself through patterns rather than isolated gestures. Think about how easy it is for people to make promises with words. They can say they're interested, they can act engaged in one conversation, they can even create moments that feel significant. But if those moments are followed by silence, inconsistency, or withdrawal, then the truth is revealed. Attraction that flickers is not real attraction, it is distraction. The measure of authenticity is not intensity in one moment, but persistence across many. When someone is truly pulled toward you, they cannot help but show up repeatedly. It's not about perfection, it's about the reliability of their presence. Consistency is powerful because it builds trust. Desire that keeps showing up communicates a message beyond words: you matter, you are prioritized, you are worth the effort. Even subtle gestures, when repeated, carry immense meaning. A consistent gaze, a repeated choice to lean in, the ongoing effort to remain close. These patterns expose what cannot be hidden. A person may try to regulate their words, but consistency reveals what lies beneath control. This is why people often discover the truth of someone's feelings not in what they claim, but in what they continue to demonstrate. Desire that is authentic doesn't need reminders. It doesn't need to be reignited artificially. It sustains itself because it is fueled by something deeper than convenience. It shows up in consistent attention, consistent curiosity, and consistent presence. Even in moments of silence, it doesn't disappear, it lingers, waiting to resurface in action. This is what separates genuine attraction from momentary fascination. Fascination fades when the newness wears off, but desire deepens with time, growing stronger the more it is expressed. There is also a rhythm to consistency. It doesn't always appear as grand gestures or dramatic declarations. More often, it is found in the everyday choices that keep showing up: the repeated effort to connect, the willingness to engage, the steady presence that becomes undeniable. These small but consistent signals form a pattern that cannot be ignored. They reveal attraction not as a random occurrence, but as a persistent force woven into behavior. When attraction flickers, it creates confusion. The highs feel intoxicating, but the lows feel empty. This kind of inconsistency breeds doubt and insecurity because it suggests the connection is conditional or shallow. But when desire is real, it stabilizes. It doesn't leave the other person questioning where they stand. Instead, it communicates assurance without needing to be spoken. You don't have to ask if it's genuine. You can see it in the way it continues to manifest. Consistency is the language of truth. It strips away the illusions of temporary excitement and exposes the deeper pull that cannot be hidden. When someone is drawn, truly drawn, it is not a performance that comes and goes. It is a force that insists on reappearing, on making itself known, on showing again and again that attraction isn't fragile. It is enduring. Attention reveals priority because the human mind cannot hide what it values. Time and focus are the most honest currencies we have, and where they are spent shows what truly matters. Attraction is not just about words or gestures, it is about where attention flows consistently. When someone is genuinely drawn, their focus sharpens around the object of their desire. They notice details that others overlook, they remember small things that others forget, and they invest their awareness in ways that cannot be faked. The truth is simple: people don't pay attention to what they don't care about. Think about the way attention works in everyday life. The more you focus on something, the more it grows in your awareness. When someone keeps returning their gaze, keeps leaning into conversations, keeps listening beyond the surface, it is because their feelings are alive. Desire amplifies focus, and focus strengthens desire. It becomes a cycle where attention feeds attraction, and attraction demands more attention. This is why you can often sense interest without a single word being spoken. Their awareness betrays them. They tune into your presence the way someone tunes into a favorite song, with instinct more than effort. Attention is also revealing because it requires choice. In a world full of distractions, no one has unlimited focus. Where someone chooses to place their attention shows what they are willing to sacrifice for. If a person consistently makes space for you in their awareness, even when life is crowded with obligations, it's not coincidence, it's priority. They could be anywhere mentally, but they are with you. They could invest energy elsewhere, but they don't. That choice exposes the weight of their desire more than any verbal declaration ever could. There's a difference between shallow attention and meaningful attention. Shallow attention is temporary, scattered, and easily shifted. It can flatter for a moment, but leaves emptiness afterward. Meaningful attention is steady, deliberate, and anchored. It makes you feel seen, not just looked at. It notices the rhythm of your voice, the pauses in your sentences, the emotions beneath your words. This kind of attention doesn't just glance, it absorbs. And when someone gives that kind of energy consistently, it is proof of attraction that runs deeper than surface-level curiosity. Attention also acts as a mirror. The way someone focuses on you reflects the space you occupy in their inner world. If their eyes linger, if their ears sharpen, if their presence intensifies when you are near, it means you hold significance in their perception. Desire has a way of reordering awareness. The world becomes background noise, and the person they are drawn to becomes the foreground. This shift cannot be disguised because it is instinctive, not calculated. The strength of attraction can often be measured by how easily attention returns, even after it has been interrupted. Distractions may pull focus temporarily, but genuine desire always circles back. If someone is truly captivated, their awareness gravitates toward you repeatedly. It doesn't take effort. It happens naturally, like gravity pulling objects back to the ground. This consistency is what reveals priority. A single glance may be accidental, but repeated focus signals something deeper. The mind and heart have aligned in the same direction. Attention is the foundation of growth. Whatever you focus on expands, and in the context of attraction, this means the feelings intensify the more attention is invested. That is why some connections feel stronger with time instead of weaker. Each moment of focused energy builds another layer of desire, creating a momentum that words alone could never achieve. Attention is not just proof of attraction. It is the very mechanism through which attraction deepens. When focus chooses you, it is not random. It is the clearest sign that you are not just present, you are prioritized. The body speaks louder than the mind because the unconscious does not know how to lie. Words are shape-filtered and edited before they are released, but the body responds in real time, often faster than awareness can catch up. When attraction is present, it leaks through posture, tone, gestures, and movements that are impossible to fully control. This is why people often sense desire long before it is spoken. The body reveals what the mind tries to hide, and in moments of real connection, these signals become undeniable. Consider the way eyes behave. A person can choose their words carefully, but their gaze will betray them. Prolonged eye contact, pupils that dilate, or the way the eyes instinctively track movements are all unconscious signs of attraction. The gaze lingers not because the person decides to hold it, but because the body refuses to look away. It's a biological response wired to focus on what feels significant. Even when they try to mask interest, the eyes give them away. Proximity is another powerful signal. Humans naturally seek closeness to what they desire. The body leans and angles itself toward the person of interest or finds excuses to reduce distance. This happens without calculation, often disguised as casual movement, but it is deeply instinctive. A person may sit closer than necessary, stand in your personal space without realizing it, or mirror your movements unconsciously. None of this requires thought. It is the body gravitating toward what it wants. Touch is an even clearer revelation. While words can create illusions, touch is deeply personal. When someone is drawn, even the lightest and most subtle contact carries intensity. A brush of the hand, a hand on the shoulder, or even the accidental graze of arms can be loaded with meaning. The key is that these touches often happen more frequently than coincidence would allow. The body finds reasons to connect physically, even if it pretends it doesn't. This is desire expressed through action rather than declaration. Voice and tone also betray the unconscious. The pitch may drop, the rhythm may change, or laughter may come more easily in the presence of attraction. These shifts aren't rehearsed, they are automatic. The body adjusts itself to create intimacy, to signal warmth, to bridge the gap between two people. Even hesitation or nervous stumbles in speech can be signs, because the body is responding with heightened energy that the mind struggles to regulate. Another revealing aspect is micro-expressions, those fleeting changes in the face that appear and vanish in less than a second. A quick smile, a raised eyebrow, or a softening of features can reveal more than a paragraph of explanation. These are impossible to fake consistently because they originate from the emotional center of the brain. The body processes feelings instantly, while the mind is still trying to frame the right response. When attraction is genuine, the body also demonstrates openness. Arms uncross, shoulders relax, and the torso faces directly toward the person of interest. These signs of openness happen naturally, signaling trust and interest. On the other hand, when attraction is absent, the body tends to close off, crossed arms, turned shoulders, or feet pointing away. These cues don't require words, yet they speak volumes about underlying feelings. The truth is that the body is always in conversation, whether the mind admits it or not. It sends signals in eye contact, gestures, posture, and proximity, all of which reveal hidden emotions. Desire especially is too powerful to remain contained within words. It spills over into movement, into tone, into the subtle but undeniable signs that cannot be rehearsed. This is why reading the body often tells a clearer story than listening to the mind. The unconscious doesn't wait for permission to speak. It broadcasts attraction long before words ever catch up. Investment signals intensity because desire is not measured by fleeting moments of passion, but by the resources someone is willing to give repeatedly. The most valuable resources in life are not material possessions, but time, effort, and presence. These are currencies that cannot be faked, borrowed, or recycled. They cost something real, and when someone consistently spends them, it is proof that the attraction is not casual. It is deeper, stronger, and meaningful. Words can be empty, gestures can be staged, but investment requires sacrifice, and sacrifice always exposes the truth. Time is the first and clearest signal. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, and where someone chooses to allocate those hours reveals what they value. If attraction is shallow, time together feels optional, easily postponed, or often interrupted. But when attraction is real, time becomes prioritized. A person will rearrange schedules, carve out moments, and seek opportunities to share space. This doesn't always mean grand gestures or elaborate plans. It can be as simple as making consistent room for conversations, checking in even during busy days, or showing up when it matters most. Genuine desire makes time even when time is scarce. Effort is the second form of investment. It is one thing to show up, but it is another to contribute energy toward creating connection. Effort reveals itself in remembering details, planning experiences, or going beyond convenience to express care. Attraction that lacks intensity will settle for the minimum, but attraction that is real will drive someone to give more than necessary. The willingness to put in effort demonstrates that the connection is not just a passing thought, but an active priority. Even small efforts, thoughtful gestures, consistent communication, or meaningful responses carry weight because they represent intentional choices. Presence is perhaps the most powerful currency of all. Someone can spend time with you but not truly be there. They may be distracted, half engaged, or distant. But when someone is deeply attracted, their presence sharpens. They listen more closely, they engage more fully, and they respond with energy that is impossible to miss. This kind of presence transforms ordinary interactions into moments that feel significant. It shows that the person isn't just physically there, they are emotionally invested, mentally attentive, and energetically connected. Presence is the purest form of desire because it cannot be faked for long. Investment also carries a deeper implication: risk. To give time, effort, and presence is to reveal vulnerability. It means placing value on someone else, choosing to prioritize them, and exposing the truth of one's desire through consistent action. This is why investment is such a reliable indicator of attraction. It is costly, and people rarely invest deeply unless their feelings are equally strong. Words may hide, but investment exposes. Another way investment reveals intensity is through consistency. It is not about one grand gesture, but about the repeated pattern of choosing to give. One effort may be impressive, but repeated effort demonstrates commitment. True attraction doesn't just shine brightly once, it endures through ongoing investment. This repetition is what creates security and clarity, because it shows that the desire isn't dependent on circumstance. It is anchored in something real. When someone invests in you with time, effort, and presence, they are declaring without words that you matter. These currencies are proof that attraction is more than surface-level interest. They reveal that the connection is worth prioritizing, that the desire is not passing, and that the energy behind it is strong enough to demand action. Attraction without investment is temporary, but attraction expressed through sacrifice becomes undeniable. It is in these acts of giving that the true intensity of desire is exposed. Vulnerability equals trust because attraction that is shallow hides behind performance, while attraction that is meaningful allows itself to be seen without defenses. When someone drops their guard, they are risking rejection, judgment, and misunderstanding, yet they do it anyway because the desire is real. Vulnerability is not weakness. It is proof that the connection matters enough to strip away the mask people usually wear. It shows that the interest is not just physical or temporary, but rooted in something deeper, the willingness to reveal one's authentic self. Most people live with walls. They protect themselves with carefully chosen words, controlled emotions, and behaviors designed to keep others at a safe distance. These walls are survival mechanisms built to avoid pain or disappointment. But when genuine attraction enters the picture, those walls begin to lower. The person becomes more open, more transparent, and less guarded. They share personal stories, reveal insecurities, or admit fears that they normally keep hidden. This openness is not casual, it is an act of trust. It means the attraction has moved beyond surface-level desire into a territory where connection feels safe and worth the risk. One of the clearest signs of vulnerability is emotional honesty. Instead of projecting perfection, someone begins to admit when they are uncertain, when they are nervous, or when they are affected by the other person's presence. These admissions may seem small, but they carry enormous weight. They reveal that the attraction is powerful enough to bypass ego. When someone says directly or indirectly, "You make me feel something I can't control," they are expressing desire in its most authentic form. The walls of control crack, and truth seeps through. Another form of vulnerability is the willingness to listen and be influenced. When a person is truly drawn, they stop pretending they have all the answers. They open themselves up to new perspectives. They allow another person's words to impact them, and they show flexibility where they might otherwise remain rigid. This surrender is a form of trust. It says, "I value you enough to let you shape me, even in small ways." That is not shallow attraction. It is meaningful desire that extends beyond self-interest. Physical vulnerability also speaks loudly. While attraction often begins with body language and chemistry, deeper desire shows itself when someone allows closeness that feels intimate, not just physical. It may be in the softness of a lingering touch, the comfort of relaxed posture, or the calm that comes from being fully present without the need to impress. These moments communicate safety, and safety is only offered when trust is present. Without trust, physical connection remains guarded. With trust, it becomes a true expression of desire. The risk of vulnerability is that it can be rejected. That is why it is such a strong signal of genuine attraction. No one exposes their softer sides to someone they don't care about. No one lowers their defenses unless the pull they feel outweighs the fear of rejection. This is why vulnerability is such a reliable indicator of depth. It cannot be forced and it cannot be faked for long. It emerges only when the desire is strong enough to make authenticity more important than protection. When walls drop, the energy between two people shifts. Conversation feels more alive, silence feels more comfortable, and moments feel more real. The connection stops being a performance and becomes an experience. Vulnerability transforms attraction from something casual into something meaningful, because it shows that trust has entered the space. And where there is trust, desire stops being shallow. It becomes powerful, authentic, and undeniable.